Hello everyone guys, this is Kira, and today after I got 50 questions per day, I got like a little bit annoyed about the trinkets because everyone is asking about the trinkets, so I think it is time to do second video about the trinkets. Where I will probably just be repeating what I was saying in the previous video with a little bit like better words, let's put it this way. So about the trinkets, let's start with the rate, because base trinkets are dropping from the rate, of course. From the raid, you kinda only care about 3 trinkets. It is trinket from the second boss from Loom. It is trinket called Antenna. Antenna trinket is very, very good. It has main stat on it. It is proccing crit. Also, this crit you can overlap if you are getting few orbs in a row. So instead of getting 6k crit, you can get like 12k crit, prolong it like last second, etc. etc. Anthem is pretty good also. Basically, previous season we were playing with Pacemaker. This is better version of Pacemaker. Uptime pretty good, giving more crit, and can be higher item level, because Pacemaker, the only chance to get it with Mythic track is to get it from Vault. This is dropping from the third boss in Mythic, like second boss, depends where your group will go. But usually, like if you're killing first and third boss, you're opening the chance of getting loot from second boss also from Vault, so it can drop from Vault also. People can say that, oh, it got like 3% nerf. Guys, 3% nerf towards the crit proc is nothing. It is around like 1.5, 1% overall trinket nerf, because it is also giving you main stat. And at this point, like, it is nothing. You know, when trinket was like absolutely broken before, and you're getting like 3% nerf to half of the trinket effect, like trinket will be still very good, right? From third boss, we're getting the defensive trinket. I would not say that defensive trinket is that needed. Like for most of the tanks, like all of the tanks are very, very tanky, especially because of the new clock. Not that needed. The 2-minute trinket for tanks pretty bad. It is mainly like DPS trinket. The bad part about this trinket is not giving you main stat. This trinket only giving you crit and main stat only on the use for 30 seconds, which means that 1.5 minutes outside of the trinket you will be without main stat. And main stat, as we know, it's a lot of damage and a lot of defensive for tank, so not that good. Not really going for this one. Brand trinket, very, very good. This is basically the best trinket for single target damage. It can do around 15-18% of your single target damage, especially if you're starting the fight with 15 stacks already. Overall, this trinket is doing around 9-10% of your overall damage. It doesn't have main stat, yes, and you're losing defensives by playing this trinket a little bit, but the damage that this trinket is doing, and especially single target damage, which is the most important damage in the case, is like not comparable. And also it's giving you some small absorb, which is also like not that bad, like 5 and 8% or something overall, which is also not that bad. Towards the physical spy master, also not that bad trinket, but not for every tank, mainly because again, it doesn't have main stat on it. It only has main stat whenever you're using it. Let's say the usage uptime is around 50% the buff. On Warrior, when I was playing it on Warrior, on Brewmaster it's a little bit less. It is doing like a little bit of damage by itself, around 3% of your overall, maybe 4% on tanks. Good for tanks that are doing damage only inside cities, let's say, can be not that bad for Paladin, if we're talking about the damage terms. Can be not bad for Shadowpan Monk also, but I think for Warrior not the best from what I was testing it. This trinket is basically like Beacon. 2-minute use trinket, doesn't have main stat, only doing damage. Would not really recommend playing it for keys, because in keys we're also looking not only for damage, we're also looking for defensive value. And from last boss we're getting 2 trinkets. The Scrims Sky, not that good trinket. I would say like pure damage trinket, and you need to stack it like by hitting one mob, and then keys you are always having very fast fights and you cannot really stack this trinket. And the cheated trinket, I mean, cheated trinket is good, but it doesn't have main stat. It has verse. It is doing a little bit damage. It is doing a little bit of healing. The bad part about this trinket is that it is stopping you to 20% after it is proccing, and that it is not giving you immunity as the trinket from Rise was doing. Plus Trinket from Rise was also proccing you some haste after you proc the cheat death, and also had a main slot on it. Maybe good potentially to take it and play it in the keys where you feel like you're struggling, in the keys where you feel like you can die. But if we're talking about like the keys that people are playing at the moment, like due to the gear, you know, not the highest keys, I think like it makes more sense to just go full damage. But at the same time, like can be potentially good in high keys, you know. Maybe like not bad to equip it for Priory, you know, maybe for Floodgate for safety if you have this trinket. Like not that bad to roll it just in case for future, I would say. So yeah, the best trinkets are dropping from the raid. It is Loom Trinket and the Brent Trinket. This is kind of your default pick that you want to take and that you want to go for. If you're not raiding, if you're not even raiding Heroic, if you're not even raiding normal, if you don't ever want to step into the raid, we're going towards the dungeon trinkets that you can equip. First trinket, I think I will go towards Pacemaker. Pacemaker is trinket, like that we were playing previous season. The bad part about this trinket is that, first of all, like hard to get it from Mythic. Second of all, a little bit worse than Antenna, but still not that bad trinket. Like if you got it from Vault, and if you're not playing Mythic, I would say that this Pacemaker from Mythic will be way better than Antenna from Heroic. So worth taking it. The Ritual Mood Trinket, well, defensive trinket, you know, we had a previous season, not that bad for like dungeons where a lot of blades. I can see this being not that bad for, let's say, Priory maybe for Prot Warrior, for first boss, for second boss. For Floodgate maybe also, but not sure. Like pure defensive trinket, not having main stat, you know, not doing damage, like giving verse, giving some absorb. The second trinket, okay, I will go to Arakara and mainly Sagbrute. Sagbrute is like okay-ish trinket, giving you haste and proccing some like very little damage and proccing secondary stats. This trinket is like kind of RNG. It can give you 1 stack, it can give you 0 stacks, it can give you 5 stacks, it can give you 8 stacks. When you're high rolling, this trinket is by far the best. When you're not rolling this at all, this trinket is kinda bad. So, not that bad trinket for tank, but yeah, the RNG is not the best part of it. In Dawnbreaker, we are getting this Pact Stone, pretty bad trinket, doing 1%, 1.5% of your overall damage. The haste proc for 1.5k haste. I was playing with this trinket before, like 1.2k haste on proc for 10 seconds. Uptime is around 30, 35, 40%, so pretty small. Also, in this key, we're getting the trinket for leather users called Crystal. Not that bad for Guardian Druid, not that bad for Monk, not that bad for DH also. Proc in like random secondary stat, so for most of the classes we don't really want to proc one of those stats, but 3 out of 4 stats are not that bad, so yeah, I mean, also not that bad trinket for leather users. From Echodam, like this trinket is like pure damage trinket, we don't really want it. About the Crystal Stone Idol, this trinket is like okay, but the bad part about this trinket that you need to cast it, and while you're casting it, you cannot parry, you cannot dodge, you cannot block. So for classes that want to use it, ideally you would press like something like Shockwave or Lex Whip and cast it after, or maybe like Leap out and cast it and charge back. Pre-casting it before the key, before the pool is kind of good, but at the same, it is safer, but it is not that good in terms of like you lose in few seconds, you know, which making this trinket a little bit worse. Overall, I would say that not that bad trinket, but worse than trinkets from the raid. Towards the Tazavest trinket, we have Codex. Codex is pretty bad trinket because giving you stamina, and also it was pretty good before in Shadowlands or something when it was meta, but right now pretty bad due to like bugs or due to fixes, nerfs, or like whatever. Not recommended in this one. This trinket also like pure damage trinket, not given main stat. Mastery, which is like useless for most of the specs. We're getting also secret technique. Not bad trinket, just giving you main stat, giving you secondary stat. You can choose what secondary stat to have, like verse, haste, mastery, crate, right? Depends on what on what guy you will press it. Not that bad trinket, but again, there are just better trinkets, you know. This is just pure stat stick trinket. Given like main stat, given secondary stat. And we are coming towards Prairie. In Prairie we have Signal Brand, which I think is only pretty good trinket for Harmony Monk Brewmaster, due to Monk having 2-minute CD, and this trinket is also 2-minute CD. So just like to do more damage, you know, not that bad. Okay, I was getting millions questions about the Tome of the Light Devotion trinket, and I want to explain how this trinket is working basically. A lot of guys are saying that this trinket is the best. This trinket is good for pure single target damage. It is doing like not bad numbers. It is doing like 5-6% of your single target damage. Sometimes maybe more if boss is not hitting you that much. If we're talking about the keys, as I've already mentioned before, in keys you are looking also for defensives. This trinket is not giving you main stat. This trinket is not giving you secondary stats. This trinket is not giving you like any healing, nothing really. This trinket has 2 effects, and it is swapping around if you will press the trinket or if you will reach 50 stacks of the trinket. If you are taking more damage, like more often damage, this trinket is stacking faster. First effect of this trinket, it is giving you crit and damage effect. So this is the effect that you want to stay in the most to do more damage and to get the crit, because this is secondary stat that was also damage increase. And the second part of this trinket, it is giving you armor and magic damage shield absorb. Armor is not that needed. Like armor is kind of useless, right? Because what is armor? Like damage reduction, like how much damage reduction it will give, like 0.5%, like you will not notice it, right? Plus you will be losing damage while being in the armor and magic damage reduction shield. And it is also giving you some small magic damage reduction shield, which is like very, very minor. It's like 3%, maybe overall max 2%, something like that. Bad part about this trinket, in the dungeons you are getting melee hit a lot, and it means that you will not be able to stay that often into the crit and damage effect of this trinket. And you are also losing like defensive value, as I said. Overall, this trinket is doing around like 2.5 up to 3, maybe like 3.2, 3.5% max, I would say. So what's the point of this trinket if other trinket will probably do the same, you know? It's just like no point. For example, if you're talking about like the brand trinket, right? This is also trinket that is not giving you main stat, but this trinket is doing 15% of your single target, while Tom is doing around 5% of your single target. Brand is doing 9% of your overall damage. Tom is doing around 3% of your overall damage. And Brand is giving you bigger absorb overall than Tom. So at this point, like the question is, what's the point of playing Tom and how Tom can be bis if Brand is just 3 times better in all aspects? Like other trinkets, like also Antenna, for example, right? Just by value of getting the main stat and proccing some secondary stats on top, you're getting way more defensives than playing Tom trinket. Damage-wise, I would say it might be also better, but even if it will be the same, like why would you play something that is doing the same damage but worse defensive? Like it doesn't really make sense, right? I will not be talking about the Delph trinkets because it used to be that Delph trinkets are just like worse in general due to the item level and due to the scaling, right? Let's say at the end of the season, like from the raid, you will have 723 trinkets, and from Delphs, first of all, it is not that easy to get the Delph trinket because you want to aim for Delph trinket from Heroic, and even if you will get it from Heroic, it will be 710 max item level, right? So if we're talking about the later into the season, the Delph trinkets are losing the value because no matter what, this trinket will be just 13 item levels lower, and you cannot get any chance to get it higher, right? So not that good, I would say, and I'll just avoid talk about the Delph trinkets. So yeah, overall, I will mention it again, 2 trinkets from 2 best trinkets for almost every tank spec, for keys, for raid, overall, for damage, for defensive. It is Antenna and Brand. Potentially can also play Spymaster, just like for damage, not that good defensively. Potentially can also use later in high key if you're struggling to live, cheat that trinket. From dungeons, Pacemaker good. Arakara Trinket not bad. And Technique is also not bad. So that's kind of it. I hope everything is clean here, and I hope I answered all the questions. And yeah, GG's, thanks for watching, and see you.